Well, meanwhile, we have President Trump tweeting this morning, quote, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. This comes a day after Tehran declared it would no longer adhere to any limits of the 2015 nuclear deal. Well, joining us now to discuss more on this is Matthew Kroeing. He's deputy director at the Atlantic Council's Scowcroft Center. And Matthew, when you take a look at this, the thought here, Iran becoming potentially more of a nuclear threat, what do you think?
Well, Iran is a nuclear threat, and it has had this latent nuclear capability for some time. It was briefly parked under the Iran nuclear deal. The United States withdrew from that deal last year. And now just yesterday, Iran says that it will not abide by the limits in the deal, will increase its nuclear capabilities. And so this does make the nuclear crisis more acute. Best estimates are that within 6 to 8 months or so, Iran could have a nuclear weapons capability. So I think the timeline on Iran's march to the bomb started with the announcement yesterday.
Matthew, do you think we're in uncharted territory as it stands right now?
Well, not really uncharted because we've been through this crisis before. You and your viewers may remember the 2010 through 2012 period, where Iran was also ramping up its nuclear program. The then Obama administration was trying to put sanctions on Iran to force them to the table to negotiate. And at the time, negotiations weren't really going anywhere. Many people feared we were going to face this difficult decision between either living with a nuclear-armed Iran or taking military action to stop it. To many people's surprise, we got a deal that bought us some time. But I think we're now kind of returning to that 2010 period where we're going to have to ask ourselves, can we get Iran to the table to negotiate? If not, are we willing to live with a nuclear-armed Iran? And if not, then are we willing to take military action? So I think we've got some weeks or months for this crisis to play out. But I think this will be a more serious crisis than this recent crisis over the killing of Soleimani.
You're saying that it could be a more serious crisis. What should the U.S. be prepared for?
Well, President Trump, as you saw in the tweet this morning, said that he will not allow Iran to build nuclear weapons. That was also President Bush and President Obama's position, that all options, including military options, were on the table to stop Iran. So it really depends on what Iran does. Maybe this is just an announcement. Maybe it won't actually do much to ramp up its nuclear program, in which case this could be kind of a slow boiling crisis. But if Iran took steps to really ramp up its nuclear program, if it were to kick out international inspectors, for example, then I think you would hear serious calls for military action to stop Iran's program. So it could lead to a major conflict between the United States and Iran.
All right, Matthew Kroeing, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.